Let's not get addicted to the fact that you have 100 likes, 1,000 likes, 10,000 likes. It's not about the size. It's about the messaging.
Welcome to the Spartan DEKA series on Spartan Up with Jared Cogswell, Director of Sport, and Yancey Culp, Director of Programming.
What's up, Spartans? It's the DEKA series on the Spartan Up podcast. I'm Director of Sport and Education, Jared Cogswell, along with my brother and the Director of Programming, Yancey Culp. And today we are back live with our man, coach, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, Todd Durkin. And today we are talking about lighting up the planet.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Gone Rogue high-protein chips. Visit Amazon or GoneRogueSnacks.com and use the promo code SPARTAN25 to get 25% off.
You know, TD, to be honest with you, we wouldn't be here right now. Yancey and I wouldn't know each other if it weren't for you, you know? So it's a beautiful industry in how we connect with like minds. But, you know, I met Brandy Binkley through you, you know, one of the masterminders I get to coach. And I wouldn't have met unless I was part of the Todd Durkin mastermind coaching team. And she eventually introduced me to Alpha Warrior, and then we went and coached, and I met Yancey. It was the perfect dynamic. And so, you know, being in the fitness industry for a long time now, we both get to pour that passion and purpose that we have to impact lives through DEKA. And I'll tell you what, man, you have been a big part of this movement, whether you realize it or not. And I've told you this before. You know, your mission as a leader is you wanted to change 10 million lives, okay? And what I've told you time and time again, you don't know it, but there's somebody in their gym right now that's taken a lesson from Todd Durkin and sharing it with hundreds, maybe thousands of their members every single day. And that's the impact that you've had, not just on the fitness industry, but the world. So I want to thank you for that, my friend. And you are the real deal for us. And I appreciate that so much about you. We talk about being the light for so many people, and you are that light.
Well, thank you, Jared. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I think people let it be a little overwhelming because they keep talking about how I got to scale my business. I got to scale my brand. I got to do everything big. And as much as we all love to think big, one of the reasons that I think that I've always been very comfortable in my own skin is I learned a lesson when I first did a workshop at Fitness Quest 10. I had 5 people in my first workshop. 3 of them were employees. So I really had 2 people in my first workshop. And I realized this is like, as long as you have one person, then you have a message that you could possibly impact a life. So you say the word 10 million inspires me, but I realize it's not about the 10 million, it's about the one. In just in a little while, I'm going to have a bunch of high school football players near training. I'm going to have a one-off conversation with at least one of those kids and find out what's going on in their life. Because I believe the way we scale our impact is one by one. Because 1 becomes 10, 10 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1,000, 1,000 becomes 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million, one by one. And I've learned that from my mentors along the way. And even on social media, let's not get addicted to the fact that you have 100 likes, 1,000 likes, 10,000 likes. It's not about the size. It's about the messaging. Stay real, have real conversations. And if you can do that, then it all allows you to be who you truly are. So when I talk about like, hey, live a life worth telling a story about, just be authentically you. And if you're a man or a woman who's overcome a lot of adversity, fantastic, share that story. And you might impact 10 people or 100 people or 10 million people, whatever it is. But like, be the best version of you. And that takes work. That takes discipline. That takes sacrifice. That takes 7 days a week of really dialing into who you are. And it entails you being around other people that are going to be your cheerleader, not pull you down, but lift you up. And that's hard in today's day. It's hard to keep finding people who are lifting you up because last I checked, all of us need more cheerleaders in our life. We need more people around us. So if you have to shrink the size of your inner circle, then shrink it. But be very focused on what you want, what your big purpose is in life. I call it your divine purpose for what that is for life, and keep searching and keep being the best version of yourself. And I believe after all, you're going to create a lot of impact. And Jared, I thank you for who you are, and Yancey for who you are. Not what you do, but for who you are. Because by being who you are allows you to do what you do, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, it's about who you are, and how do we grow as men and as women who are listening in. It's always about how you can be the best version of yourself today and continue to grow, which will allow us to be the best versions of ourselves.
Love
hey,
it.
man.
I want to share something real quick. And what I've learned in hanging around like-minded people, you and JC and Benny and other who I consider very authentic friends in the fitness world, I picture it like this. There's platform A over here, and then there's B, and there's C. And I could spend an hour on each platform. I'm going to take about 20 seconds. On platform A, you're optimistic. You have awesome positive energy. People gravitate towards you. You light people up, as this part of the podcast is about lighting up the planet. You truly, authentically light up the planet. That's A over here. B is mediocrity, and C is you're a pain in the ass. You have negative energy, and you're just a pain in the ass. That's how you live your day. Now, again, the three of us could spend an hour painting this picture of all three platforms, but I think the listeners get it, and the viewers hopefully get it even better. Here's the deal. 99.9% of the time, everybody that wakes up and rolls out of bed spends most of their time on A, B, or C. It's not debatable. And when you said shrink, I didn't even think about saying this, but when you said shrink that following, sometimes I have a lot of people that hold me accountable. And if I fall off of A, they pull me back up on A. And it's like that foundation that never cures. And these people are always plugging new pieces of rebar into that foundation. It'll crack, and it might even get brittle on the edges, but the core of the foundation is strong. And the main reason for that is not necessarily because of me, because I have a lot of other people around me it's like they're always on the shoulder. And I know you and I have the main person sitting on our shoulder that person that never leaves, but we have these real people on planet Earth also that are like, dude, Todd or JC or Benny they wouldn't approve about how I'm getting ready to handle this. Or before I go in the situation, what would Todd or JC or Benny, how would they handle it? That's how I stay on A. And if I ever do slip over on B, they're grabbing my ass and pulling me back over. And I'm damn sure not going to spend a minute on C, because they whoop my ass and literally drag me by my ear back over to A. And we would do the same for you. And I do the same for, that's the thing. So the messaging is that it's like, and I know you follow this policy, Todd. It's like every workout you're thinking in your own way, what can I do today to bring somebody over to A with me?
Yeah. Well said, Yancey. I mean, well said. I will say this. I guard my energy it's extremely important. It's the most important thing that I've got is my energy. Now, that being said, I learned this in massage therapy school in 1995. I went to massage school, one of my off seasons, is I envision a white bubble around me, right? Now, I don't live in my bubble because my role, my divine purpose is not to live in my own bubble. My purpose is to go out and to get some of those B's and C's and go get in their head and go get in their mind and then get back into make sure I get back into my territory on that. There's a lot of energy vampires out there. There's a lot of toxic people out there. Now, learn this from one of their pastors I work with, Miles McPherson. His man, everyone's safe in church, but you got to go disciple people too. You got to get outside of church. So I get outside my gym, and a lot of times I'll go visit and I'll go have conversations with people who are extremely unhealthy on any level, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I'm going to connect with them as a man to man or man to woman. And I'm going to connect with them. And one of the reasons why I believe that I work with a lot of athletes is I'm going to call an ace a spade. And I'm going to share with them how I believe that they can get up into that A category. And that may require some change. Yeah, I said change. And that's that uncomfortable word of change. Like, how do I do that? Everyone wants to to feel a certain way or be a certain way. But man, part of my mission isn't just to stay in my bubble. Part of my mission is to go outside my comfort zone and go visit people who are really struggling, or talk to people, have conversation with people who are different than me. And I've really, in the last several years, I've done a lot more of that. I call it discipling, going out and having those conversations. Why? To get people up to that A category, because I believe everyone deserves that, but they're lost, or the environment they're in is toxic. How do you change your environment to create a thriving environment that you can always come home to your sanctuary at your home or your business or wherever it may be? So to me, that's part of my mission is, hey, we got to hang, like you said, Yancey, on that. How do I get some more B's up to the A's? Those fence straddlers that could be there. They want that, but they're gossiping too much. They're making bad decisions in their life. They're partying, they're smoking, they're doing whatever. They're not living the way they're congruent with really what they want. So that's part of what I do.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Gone Rogue high-protein chips. Visit Amazon or GoneRogueSnacks.com and use the promo code Spartan25 to get 25% off.